Hey, good Thursday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. And we're kind of between clumps of thunderstorms today for most of us. It does look like quite an area of rain will move through overnight. But for the UP and about the northern third of lower Michigan, southern Michigan, we get to take a break a little bit. Yesterday, some big pounding heavy rains also again in isolated places. Like someone sent us a video of Ann Arbor and it was just a deluge there. That still is the type of atmosphere that we have around us until about Tuesday of next week. Then things will cool down and dry off somewhat. All right, so here we go. And hey, good morning, Larry Husker from Sterling Heights. So, showers coming across the thumb right now, also around the Cadillac area. A couple southwest of Lansing, very isolated in nature. This gives you a good idea. The satellite picture gives you a good idea of the dying showers right now and the next wave off to our west, Minnesota and the Dakotas. And I keep showing you this, and that there's a wave in the Dakotas, Minnesota, another wave out in the Rockies, and then there's another wave off the coast. So we'll continue with these showers and thunderstorms. All right, let me see if the high resolution, yes, the newest one is coming in. That's where I get all set up, and then I've got to go ahead and hit refresh because the newest, latest, greatest is coming in. So here we have it, radar forecast. Noon, 1, 2 o'clock, 3, 4. I think the far southeast could still have perhaps a quick thunderstorm today. This is this evening, and it looks fairly quiet. If it's golf league night, you're probably in very good shape. But note the disturbance and the large area of rain and thunderstorms coming out of Minnesota and Iowa. This is the middle of the night. So we start to have the thunderstorms developing across southern Michigan. And this is middle of the night, stormy across the UP, stormy across northern lower. This is 6 in the morning. We don't have a severe weather threat. These would just be, again, heavy rains, lots of lightning, lots of noise, maybe an isolated wind gust, but nothing that we would term a widespread severe weather situation. This is tomorrow. And I think what happens tomorrow is in the afternoon, a frontal system is in the far southeast, and we see the thunderstorms erupt in the afternoon, scattered in the far southeast. Next model to jump on to, this is the North America model, goes out 60 hours. And here is the day today. So again, it's coming up with a dry day for the most part for lower Michigan. It's coming up with wet and stormy for the UP down to Traverse City overnight tonight. This is 6 in the morning, 7, 8. And then it is also showing my thought that in the evening tomorrow, this is Friday evening, a line of thunderstorms develops in the south central, southeast part of the state, maybe southeast of Grand Rapids. Hey, we just got some folks that joined on. Mike Stetz, Tim's getting married in Howell at 3 today. Should be pretty good. It'd be warm, but not like it was earlier in the week. Mike Predmore, good morning, Mark. How about golf tomorrow at Monroe at noon? We're right there on this model. Noon should be pretty good. I think if you get into the storms in Monroe, it's in the evening hours, 6 o'clock to midnight. Good morning as I visit the rainy Finger Lakes in New York today from Carter. Which Finger Lake? I have a friend that lives on Kuka Lake, I think it's called, or Lake Kuka. Hey, good morning, Todd Nordorf from Cadillac. Okay, so Friday evening, stormy in the southeast, Ann Arbor, Detroit area, Monroe area. And then we go to Saturday morning, and it looks like we're going to be in a break in the storms as we go to the weekend. Wanted to show you this first off. This is the upper air flow. And you'll note the difference. Remember, you can still see the ridge to a certain degree. We're still going to be near 90 from Grand Rapids southward today. But you'll notice these bends in the jet stream keep knocking the ridge down. This is the overnight burst of thunder showers. Sorry, once an ad kicks in for some reason, I have to dump out and go back to the chat just to see you. Have no idea why that happens. And then let's go through the weekend. And this is early next week. So this is the next very distinct upper air disturbance coming through probably late Monday, early Tuesday. And note the difference. Now as we get to July 2nd, note the difference. This isn't cold, but this is a lot cooler. This is maybe some 60s in the UP, some 70s for highs, northern lower, and about 80 in southern lower. And this is July 3rd. And we're watching the 4th, 5th because a pattern like this has a disturbance in it somewhere that blows through a couple of hour burst of thunderstorms. We'll just have to watch it. But the point being is now we're out July 7th. Here comes another cold front. Now we're out to July 9th and 10th. Point being is that a lot of these things are not showing the ridge building right back. So we're going to get a break in the heat and humidity. Here's that same model showing the clumps of storms. So there's our wet and stormy night across the UP and across far northern lower. There's our little flare-up of thunderstorms, a line of storms in the southeast. I think those could be isolated severe, as in some large hail and some spotty wind gusts coming out of it. Yes, Kuka Lake. Yes, that's where they live. That's in the Finger Lakes region. My wife and I have to go visit them. So this is Saturday. Saturday, I think we're in the lull. This is Saturday afternoon, evening rainfall. Nothing. It looks like we're in between systems in this very active pattern. This is Sunday. Nothing except for the western part of the UP. This is Sunday afternoon and evening. Sunday looks like a good bake on the lake type day. Now here's Monday with our thunderstorms flaring up probably in the late afternoon and evening in the eastern part of the state. That's been pretty consistent. We go into July 1st and 2nd and 3rd. We go into the 4th, and we'll keep an eye on this. This is early on the 4th. This is morning on the 4th. This is afternoon and evening on the 4th, and then down. Yeah, I missed it, but the ensembles of that model show about the same thing. So today, 89-ish for my friends in Grand Rapids, 85 in Flint, 80-ish in Saginaw Bay City, Midland. Ann Arbor, you're 88. In Detroit, you're 88. In Traverse City, you've cooled off, maybe 75-ish. Tomorrow, warm and humid in the Saginaw to Grand Rapids southward areas. Saturday, the weekend, we made it. Low 80s in the south. Mid to upper 70s in the north. Traverse City, 74. Sunday, like I said, bake on the lake, light wind, full sunshine, probably not a threat of storms. We'll watch if that updates. It's 4 days out. And near 90. Most everywhere in the low 80s in the UP. Monday, 90, Ann Arbor, Detroit area, ahead of that line of storms. That's why I'm concerned that it could become severe. and then July 2nd in the 80s, and July 3rd classically in the 80s. I think that might come down a few degrees. And here's one last thing for you, long term. So, we have a ton of summer yet to go. We have July and August, and even the first couple of weeks of September can look like summer. Oh, by the way, fired up chips. People ask me, did I go to Central Michigan for my meteorology degree? I have a Bachelor of Science in Meteorology. No, I went to Northern Illinois University, the Huskies. That was the college in our state that had meteorology. But Central Michigan does have a very good meteorology program if you have somebody that is interested in that. That's a longer conversation, should you go into meteorology nowadays. If you have somebody that's interested, probably try to have them get a hold of me through Facebook, and then we can talk on the phone. I wouldn't advise it because it's a shrinking industry that is total computer data, and we know what is happening with computer data. It's being processed and packaged very easily, so it's taking human beings out. But that's another story. Let's look out into the future. The European model, good model, in the ensemble mode. And what we see is we don't see the hot dome building back up. So this is essentially it's a surface temperature anomaly. It's actually a temperature anomaly about 5,000 feet up, but the surface temperatures would, match. Hey, Mike Light, a Husky graduate. There we go. And now we are in the Mountain West Conference or something like that. I have no idea. When I went to college, this is just an aside for those of you who are still with me and want a story. When I went to Northern Illinois University, we were in the MAC conference. This was in the 80s, mid to late 80s. And then they, for whatever reason, decided to become independent. And so they turned independent, and one of the years, I think it was maybe my sophomore year probably in college, they played Nebraska in football. And that was when Nebraska was like 84-0. They hadn't lost a game in 7 or 8 seasons. And we lived on a floor, and there were a couple of the best football players at Northern Illinois on the floor. These guys were the biggest, hugest guys we had ever seen in our lives. And they played Nebraska. We got beat, I think it was 84-0. And the biggest guys we ever seen in our lives said that they just played the biggest guys they'd ever seen in their lives, and they couldn't walk for about 2 or 3 days. So that was my little Northern Illinois University. That was also, I don't know if anyone was there, but that was also the infamous, what do we call it? Corn fight. So at Northern Illinois University, DeKalb, Illinois, there was a big corn company, DeKalb Corn. You saw the signs everywhere. And so at our tailgating, they always brought out these big barrels of boiling water with sweet corn in them. And at tailgate parties, you could go grab an ear of sweet corn and eat it. Well, some idiot got the idea. I'm going to eat this corn, and then I'm going to throw it up in the air. And a food fight ensued with thousands of corn cobs in the sky. And needless to say, that ruined it for the rest of eternity, I think, probably. So, back to this. Well, what I was going to show you is that we're not having the ridge build back, but here's the ensemble of what I'm watching for the 4th of July weekend. Now, no panic yet on what's going to happen on the 4th of July weekend. Just a second, I got to go back to the ensemble. But in this kind of pattern, what I tell people, in a 4-day stretch, you won't have completely dry weather. This is Monday afternoon's thunderstorms in the eastern part of the state. Then we go to July 2nd, we go to Wednesday. Now we go to July 4th. Morning into early afternoon into evening. So the ensembles of this model say that there is something coming across, and that would be very understandable, and it would be something that probably would be just like all the other thunderstorm complexes we've had. 1, 2, 3 hours, maybe vigorous. We'll watch it for the timing, but the point is, you know, if you're going to ask, are we going to have a dry 4th of July holiday weekend? No. From Thursday to Sunday in this kind of pattern, we will have one spurt of thunderstorms. There you have it. Pretty quiet day today. Stormy in the north tonight, and stormy in Detroit, Ann Arbor, far southeast tomorrow afternoon. I'm meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with MLive, and of course we will continue to always keep you updated on the weather, especially if we see something that could get dangerous. Take care.